Hello, you are about to hear the continuation of our detective story, The Whispering Fog Part 2. To listen to Part 1, please watch the previous video on my channel where I create rainbow waves. And now let's continue our detective story about the murder of the artist. Chapter 2, Shadows in the Fog. The next morning, Clara woke to the sound of gulls outside her window. The fog was lighter today, but the air still smelled of salt and sweet. She sat up slowly, thinking about the empty wall in Richard's studio and Ethan's calm, steady voice. She hadn't planned to get involved. She had come to Black Bay to avoid complications, not to chase mysteries with handsome detectives, but something about this case and about Ethan was pulling her in. Clara dressed quickly and walked to the bookstore. She had barely turned the key in the lock when a figure appeared behind her. "Morning," Ethan said, carrying a small paper bag. His blonde hair was downed from the sea air. "You're early," she said, surprised. "I brought breakfast." He handed her the bag. Two warm pastries from the bakery. She smiled despite herself. "Bribing witnesses now?" "Only the helpful ones," he replied with a grin. "I wanted to ask you something before your day gets busy." They sat at the counter, steam rising from their coffee cups. "I went through Richard's financial records last night," Ethan began. "He received a payment of £5,000 and a week before his death. The sender is unknown." Clara frowned. "Richard never seemed wealthy." "Exactly, and the money disappeared from his account the day after he died." Clara felt a shiver. "Do you think it's connected to the missing painting?" "I'm almost certain. Whoever paid him wanted the painting badly, and they took it after removing him." Clara glanced around the shop, lowering her voice. "I think I know someone who might have seen something." Ethan leaned closer. "Who?" "Mrs. Dalloway. She lives in the cottage opposite Richard's. She's nosy, but she notices everything." They found Mrs. Dalloway tending her garden. She was small and wiry, with bright eyes that missed nothing. At first she was wary of Ethan, but Clara's presence seemed to pressure her. "I heard noises that night," Mrs. Dalloway said, lowering her voice. "Footsteps and a car engine. Late, very late. But when I looked out, the fog was so thick I could only see the outline of a man." "Tall, short?" Ethan asked. "Tall," she said, "and wearing a long coat. He carried something under his arm, rectangular, like a painting." Clara and Ethan exchanged a quick look. "Did you see where he went?" Clara asked. Mrs. Dalloway shook her head. "The fog swallowed him." Ethan thanked her, but before they left, Mrs. Dalloway caught Clara's arm. "Be careful, dear," she whispered. "Black Bay isn't as quiet as it looks." books. Back in town, they stopped at a small cafe. Ethan laid out his notes on the table. "So," Clara said, pointing, "we have the payment, the missing painting, and the tall man in a long coat." And Ethan added, "a fake locked room scene." Clara sipped her tea. "Do you have any suspects?" Ethan hesitated. "Three: a gallery owner from London who visited Richard last month, a fisherman with a record for theft, and," he paused, "a woman named Lydia Vance. She was Richard's ex." Clara titled her head. "Ex as in romantic?" "Yes, she's an art dealer. Smart, ambitious, and dangerous when she wants something." Something tightened in Clara's chest. Why did the mention of another woman bother her? She barely knew Ethan. "We should talk to her," Clara said quickly. Ethan studied her for a moment, then nodded. "She's still in town, came for the funeral." They found Lydia Vance at the only upscale hotel in Black Bay. She was tall, elegant, with dark red lipstick and a silk scarf. Her eyes lit up when she saw Ethan. "Detective Hartley," she said smoothly, "still chasing ghosts?" "This one isn't a ghost," Ethan replied. "Richard Moore." Lydia's smile faltered, but only for a second. A tragic gloss. "I was very fond of him." "You were also one of the last people to see him alive," Ethan said. Lydia glanced at Clara, her gaze sharp. "And you are?" "A friend," Clara said firmly. Lydia sipped her wine. "I left Richard's house around 8 that night. He was working on something he wouldn't show me. Said it wasn't finished. I never saw it again." Clara watched her closely. Lydia's voice was smooth, but her hands were tense. "Did you know about the payment he received?" Clara asked. Lydia's eyes narrowed. "What payment?" Ethan didn't answer. Letting the silence stretch, Lydia looked away first. "I don't have to talk to you," she said, standing, "unless you have a warrant." As she walked off, Clara whispered, "She's hiding something." Ethan nodded. "And I think I know what." It was late afternoon when they reached the cliff path again. The fog had begun to creep in from the sea. They returned to Richard's studio, searching for anything they might have missed.